Yeah.
Anyways, yes, now we'll transition to not so great news, and we'll cover it kind of quickly because it's, not a topic that we really need to, stay on too long. But essentially, for anybody that doesn't know, if you hadn't heard, I mean, it was all over, so it should be something you've heard if you were a sports fan, even not a sports fan. So, I apologize right off the bat. I'm probably gonna butcher this last name, but a player by the name of Matiss Kivlenieks, a Columbus Blue Jackets goalie, ended up dying due to injuries he received. Celebrating the fourth, he had caught a mortar that mortar had fell over on its side and fired off directly into his chest, and it basically killed him due to the impacts of it. So it was a incredibly sad story, and it's one of those where, for me, I personally do not like handling any fireworks whatsoever, just because they just have the potential to do something devastating like that. I mean, in this case, literally they ended the man's life. In the case of a couple of years ago, Jason Pierre-Paul, the dude missed out on a massive contract that he was about to receive, had he not basically blown off a couple of his fingers. So, it's just things like that. It's just in an instant, it can change your life like that, where, in an instant he lost maybe $60 million. And in an instant, this man lost his life. So it's just something that's super sad and unfortunate. And I really do wish that, um, people, I, I don't want to say people handle things more safely or handle fireworks more safely, but I do wish that people wouldn't be as careless as they can be, and really just try to leave the bigger ones like that to the professionals, so that way, they, know how to handle it and everything, and you don't end up, in a situation that could either hurt you, injure you permanently, or even in this case, fatally wound you. So
Yeah, that's just when I immediately read that story, and there was like way too many of them that came out directly after, even the
mhm.
night of, like the 4th of July. That just made me think about one, the number of times that I've done stupid things with fireworks, and how I'm like, okay, I'm done with that portion. I just don't need that. I don't need that sort of worry or anything else in my life. And I would stay, far away from everything. And I never really would have thought that would have been one of the outcomes of it. But man, it was just nothing but terrifying, because so many people, I mean, throughout my life and everywhere, like around us, everyone always has like illegal fireworks. Everyone down the block, your friend, your neighbor, whatever, goes to Indiana or whoever else you can have it. Nobody really cares. It's not a big deal. The cops don't do anything. They come and watch. And I was always like, oh, that's really cool. That's nice that they don't do that. Now, I mean, like, I get it and everything. And yeah, America, oh, we should be able to do whatever we want. But then you see so many different things about people like, oh, some idiot put off a firework and it burnt down someone's house, and it's like a flaming inferno from something dumb like that. I
Yep.
mean, the property damage just to people, and people damage more than anything else, is just probably more than we really need. It's not, I mean, like, you go to like the local towns, the local cities, and the fireworks shows, like, they're fun and you could see them from pretty far. For the most part, that's pretty much all I would want. I liked seeing like the fireworks that we had at my girlfriend's house. We went to go see it, and that was fun and everything. I wouldn't be the one handling them, certainly, but I I understand the appeal and everything. But it's things like that, and then remembering that they are literally explosives that we're setting off for fun. It just comes back in like stories like this. And the worst part is no one's going to remember about this in like a week, except for the
Mhm.
fans and their family and friends and everyone else who's in his immediate life. But I guess the lesson I'm more saying is that nobody's going to take this as a like a, oh, okay, a big life-changing lesson. I will be much more careful. And if they do, they're going to be the majority or the minority of people. So that's kind of a shame. But I can't say it's not unexpected, because every year there's different things. People do different things on holidays where they burn down their house because they were cooking a turkey wrong. I mean, there's infinite
Yep.
examples. This one just seems way more avoidable. So,
Yeah, and it's just people just don't think about it until it happens. Essentially, like,
yep, won't happen to
my
me.
my girlfriend's uncle, he is a fireman. He was a fire chief for years. He was telling me the amount of times that he's had to put out fires, whether it be in trees or houses or what, that were caused by those Chinese lanterns that people light and let fly off, and they get a cool Instagram photo or a cool photo or look at this thing I made. It's so pretty in the sky. Yeah, well, those things land, and when they land, they're on fire. So like it's the amount of times he said that he's had to come to things where it's like, yeah, one of these Chinese lanterns flew into a tree and lit the whole tree on fire, and then it was burning down onto the grass below it, and they had to come and put it out. Like it, or in the case sometimes he said that it's happened to houses, and
Aren't there events
so
where they
it's
put off like hundreds of those? Where do they go? They
yeah.
just literally fly away and we hope they don't land in a tree or the ocean or someone's house?
Listen, I don't know how they keep those things safe, if they even do, or if they even care. But
Wow.
yeah, the amount of like people don't realize that those things land at some point, and when they land, they're on fire. So that's how that happens.
I had no
So
idea. Wow.
yeah, that's what I mean. It's just things you don't think about until it happens, or until you know somebody that had to deal with it or has to deal with it, and then you find out and you go, "Wow, that's something that I'd never thought about, but makes 100% sense."
Yeah.
So
Wow.
but yeah, sad story overall. Again, just be safe. Everybody respects things like explosives, like fireworks. Respects things like fire, and don't be dumb with it. And then try to keep your holidays or have your holidays as safe as possible. So um, yeah, that's kind of the gist there.
I
But
mean, it's a stupid notion, but like, you don't want to. It's like how people always hope that traumatic life events won't happen on holidays or other things like anniversaries or whatever, because it's all you're going to remember forever.
yep,
Everyone else and their friends, family, everything. July 4th isn't going to be a celebration. Well, everyone else is going to be celebrating, which almost makes it worse because everyone else is having a great time, and you're
yep,
going to always remember what happened that day. So, I mean, obviously, the best scenario is to not have any traumatic life experiences happen, but they're gonna happen. And if they're avoidable, try not to have them on, these types of days. This did not have to happen, and it's a freak accident. So, I mean, there's only so much you could do, but in this case, yeah, that one definitely could have been prevented. So,
well, and I also do want to clarify before we move on that we're not saying anything about the guy. We're not saying that what he did was dumb or that we blame him for it or he should blame. No,
yeah,
it's obviously a tragedy. We're just saying, use this as a example of why you should, handle things with respect and, responsibility. So
yeah, no, definitely.